Just give a minute, sir. So friends, from architects from different parts of the country, good evening to you once again. We are here present before you with another set of distinguished luminaries, or shall I say humble candidates, who offer themselves for election in front of you in the IIA elections 2023. Voting is on 27th, 28th and 29th of June. I would also end with this particular, which you see on the screen. This poster is tomorrow, although 30-minute discussion today. This poster is for tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be having amongst us architect Puneet Sethi, who will be standing as one of the 3 joint honorary secretary candidates in the election, representing team The Way Forward. Next one would be Amit Babbarji and G. Srinivas Murthy, both of whom will be standing for a council member position each in a total of 10 separate posts which are open for election. I welcome today's panelists, and today's panelists, as already circulated in the poster for the day, are architect VIDYADHAR S WODEYAR. He is standing for an office bearer position. Architect Senthil Kumar and architect Azmi Wadia, both of whom are standing for council member positions. I would first come to VIDYADHAR sir, who's standing for the position of joint of honorary treasurer. I apologize, sir. There are so many positions. I sincerely apologize. Yeah, he's standing for the position of honorary treasurer. And VIDYADHAR sir, finances. And when I talk about finances, I would talk about land, because land carries value. It is hearsay in the corridors of Karnataka that you have been instrumental in the Council of Architecture acquiring a land parcel of 1.5 or 2 acres, and that too at 0 cost from the government of Karnataka. Can you speak up 2 or 3, shall I say, small paragraphs about it? What happened, sir?
Thank you very much, Saurabh, giving me an opportunity to address the elite group of architects. And I also request all of them to hear to all our friends here today. And our group has a vision, and we are all committed to achieve whatever commitment we give it on these days. Coming to the site, the property which you are talking about, I strongly believe the finance of any institution or a base of any institutional functional independence, we need to have an asset. So this is council. I'll come later on. I'll come to IIA first. When our team was there and I was the chairman, we had a wonderful team which supported us, and we unitedly worked for procuring the land. See, we procured one land for Indian Institute of Architects Karnataka chapter in Bangalore at a very cheap cost. I mean, we were struggling for 15 long years and we could not. But finally, during our period, our team's effort, we got a site allotted from the Bangalore Development Authority at a very concessional rate.
Which year, sir? Which year?
2012-13. And it was registered in the name of IIA Karnataka chapter. And as we got it through our friends' contacts and my personal contacts, it is a CA site. CA is a civic community site given at 25% of the guidance value. Today, that property is more than 2 to 3 crores. And we own that. Our strongly belief is that once we have our own office, we need not depend on the sponsor for conducting a small events or regular events. So we will have our own office space. We will have our own small auditorium. and we have a small guest house where people come and stay. So with that intention, we procured this, and with our own funds, we had conducted a national convention, and we saved some money there. And we also conducted a Young Architects Festival at Hubli, Karnataka, and we saved some money. And
Sir,
these
come
two,
to the 2 acres of land, sir. We have
yes,
our eyes on it. We have our
sir,
eyes on it.
sir, we got one land for IIA Karnataka chapter. Next, we got an CA site for Hubli Dharwad center. So this gave us a motivation, and the COA wanted to have start a southern center of excellence. So they were trying, and they had paid Bangalore Development Authority 16 crores for a land of 1 acre land. So it was hurting me a lot, how much of our public money is being spent on this. So we followed it up and got a 2-acre land free of cost to Council of Architecture to start the Center of Excellence. And it is next to the architecture school. So both the institution benefit. And all the greater achievement was we got that 16 crores refunded back to Council of Architecture. So the project is on. A competition was called for architects, and architects have been appointed. We will be starting the work very soon. Once we have our own address, and it is also a revenue generating, and all the centers, chapters become self-reliant. We are not, for PT expenditure, we need not depend on anybody. So our own rental income and commercial returns will be sufficient.
Shall I close with a promise from your side? Think about it, sir. You have 20 minutes. You may reply in 20 minutes. Shall I end with a promise from your side that you will share the secret magic of getting government land at dirt cheap rates with all the centers and sub-centers of IIA? Think about it for 20 minutes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have the answer, but I'll frame it up properly and I'll come back to you.
Sure. With this, I now go up north, perhaps to the western part of the country, to the state of Gujarat, to architect Azmi Wadia, madam. Madam has been the committee chair for women empowerment in the incumbent council, whose term is about to end. So, ma'am, my first question to you, or perhaps as I say, my first query to you would be, can you highlight 2 small things or 2 significant things, any 2, which the committee has done over its term of 2 years or 2.5 years?
Thank you, Saurabh, for arranging the discussions. And your question, yes, I was invited to chair this particular committee on women empowerment. And when I was asked to do so, I was not so convinced that we needed really to have such a committee. But perhaps I'm speaking from a point of privilege. Not everybody has that privilege, really. And there are a number of issues that that women architects do really face in the practice of architecture. Particularly, it is still very much a man's field, I would say. When you look at medicine, for example, you will find that there are an equal number of men to women in reputable, say, doctors. But when you look at architects, you will find that when you say list down the 10 most known architects in India, there may be just 1 or 2 names that will immediately come to mind, whereas there will be a long list of men. So what are the reasons really that, that sets back women or does not provide really an equal platform? Of course, we know that responsibilities differ throughout different age phases. So what we did really was we set up this panel, and we had a committee of women from across India who were working. And we floated a survey really to see what are the kind of responses that we would get. How do women feel? Is there really a difference, or is it something that is just a mindset? And some of the things we came across were the norm. But there were one or two very startling issues that came up, such as pay disparity, and in spite of having longer working hours to some extent. This is something that's come up from the survey. And the survey was also very balanced because we had 51% women and 49% men who participated. So I think it was a very, very balanced one. So based on that survey, we have actually formulated a few recommendations. And I think given the opportunity in the coming term, if it is possible, and even if I am not elected, of course, I would very much like to work with this positive, enthusiastic team that we're having the way forward. But even if not, I will definitely set across those recommendations once again, so that something at least can be taken forward from that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'll come back to you in the second half, and perhaps we'll be discussing something which is again close to your heart, and it is about how architects could become more visible. They are currently a bit of Mr. India types.
Yeah.
So I'll come back to you in a few minutes of time. Let me move down south now. Ravinder Pal Singla ji, एक question मैं सेंथिल जी से पूछ लेता हूँ, then I'll come to you, sir. I'll come to you. So Senthil sir, down south in Tamil Nadu. Now there are a lot of architecture students who are graduating, and the numbers run in thousands. The problem really starts after graduation. The problem of not getting aboard the train of practice, the problem of not having a berth on the train of practice, the problem of standing, struggling on their feet upon the train of practice. So where do these students of architecture, freshly graduated students of architecture, get direction? Please unmute yourself, Senthil sir.
Thank you, Saurabh, for this excellent question. In fact, it's not only in Tamil Nadu, entire India, we see young architects struggling in their this thing, like in the profession. The main thing is they lack the confidence. I think I may be blunt actually. The confidence in them is totally lacking, in the sense, they don't know the value of the products what they are offering. In the sense, like if you talk to a real estate builder, he will say marketing is my biggest talent. If you go to any promoter, he has only one talent: marketing. Marketing is his talent, and he knows his talent thoroughly. Whereas as architects, we, like many of the youngsters, they don't know their own inherent talents. For 5 years, they study in the School of Architecture Planning. They come across so many subjects, and they also have some experience. When they come to practice, they have to form a team. Like my advice to youngsters is, you form a team. In a sense, you are responsible from the start, from the inception of the project to the completion of the project. For that, you need to have a team. You may be strong in the design aspects, but then you need an engineer to do the bill of quantities. You need a structural engineer. You need your site engineers. You need good architects with you. It's a teamwork. And of course, you are the leader of the team. The civil engineers and all the consultants will come under you only. You have to make this very clear to the client. And we, the seniors, have to guide the youngsters of how much to charge, how much to quote, what are services to be provided, what are comprehensive services. So this whole should come to the architect. It's not only, but many youngsters, they are interested in doing design only. That is one of the biggest. They don't want to get into project supervision. They don't want to do the approval drawings. Today it's become very competitive world, such that you have to undertake all the responsibilities. And the youngsters have been trained for that. It is our responsibility to teach them all the responsibilities in the field and then to come into practice. This is my sincere advice to them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll first take a question from Singlaji. Singlaji, please introduce yourself and to the panel member whom you are directing the question, and please pose your question. Kindly unmute yourself, Singlaji. Singlaji, please unmute yourself. Yes, please go ahead.
Sorry, sir, I am not ready to reply your question because I have just joined you.
Saurabh, you are mute. Saurabh.
Oh,
You-
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I see we have a few comments in the chat box also. Perhaps I'll take them up. Quickly, Senthil sir, 2 or 3 sentences. So there's a query regarding formulation of a base rate. So, okay, I got it. Perhaps I got it. One architect, Lean Alcasos, is asking whether the Council of Architecture, with due representation from the IIA perhaps, will protect the young architects by having a minimum base rate for practice. Would you like to take this, sir?
Yeah, so in fact, the council can only specify the minimum standards. The council specifies.
Okay, please continue, sir. Please continue.
The council can only specify the minimum.
Right. So perhaps we'll take it up as a collective. We'll take it up as a collective. Madam thereafter says that what else? Okay, so she's saying that perhaps Azmi madam did not answer the question. I think it is her personal opinion. I'll not get into that. And there is one Anup Menanji. So Mr. Anup Menon is writing in the chat box, how do you plan to support professional growth of young architects in India? Again, this is the query related to low wages, or no, I should not use the word wages. I should use the word low salaries for young architects. Brijesh had a small talk about it yesterday, the day before yesterday. Steps for streamlining fee structures, overview of your strategy to address existing challenges and disparities. Azmi ma'am, let me come to you with this question. Let me rephrase what Mr. Anup Menon has written in the chat box. Architects are not very visible. I would not use the word invisible, but more or less invisible, near to invisible for a large part of the society. So how do architects get out of this Mr. India effect?
Yes, I quite agree with you. If you look at the general public, architects work for, I think, hardly maybe 10% of our population, not even 10%, perhaps even less than that. So in that sense, their visibility is low. They are not really in demand as should be, because there's a notion or a perception that architects are there just, to create an aesthetic. And the practicality of the project, or creating a better functioning project, sustainable project, that is something that is overlooked by a lot of people, at the large part of the population. So I think that it's very important also. I think probably in this day and age, it's a lot simpler to go out and have outreach programs, because we have social media, which is working at lightning speed. And the younger architects really are able to spread their wings. They are able to showcase their work, through social media. The older architects, I feel, have not really gotten into this. But it's very important that everybody, there should be outreach kind of programs to really bring to light the kind of work that architects are doing. So this could be, if we talk about IIA, it could be also some kind of a structured program at center or chapter level, which goes out to, say, different different organizations, say maybe the Rotary or the Lions Club, which are also professional bodies of a different nature. So not professional bodies, but they're associations with professionals as part of their members. So if we really showcase that, how an architect would add value to a project in this kind of an audience, that I think would also help to a great extent. I think also doing certain amount of pro bono work, free work for maybe an NGO, or improving our own society or our own community, going out and really doing that. So if you feel that there's something in your street or in your neighborhood which could do with a facelift which could do to function in a better manner, then I think the architect is the correct person to really maneuver that or take into hand something like that and move ahead. So that would also be one way of getting visibility. Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I'll extract 2 or 3 words from what you said, and I'll direct them towards Vidyadhar Vodeyar ji. So Vodeyar sir, we have a QR code to scan and pose the question via a Google form. This question comes from an architect from Udaipur sub-center under the Rajasthan chapter of IIA. And the question is regarding other professional institutions. Perhaps the gentleman knows the name is gender neutral. I'm using the word gentleman, although the name is gender neutral. So perhaps the gentleman knows you to be a member of the Town Planners Institute also, ITPI also.
Yes, sir,
And
yes.
we have with us, not to forget, architect Saurabh Wadia also, who is presently the presiding president of the Triple ID. He's here with us watching. So take it from madam, it to you. She talked about the Rotary, she talked about the Lions Club, I talked about Triple ID, being a member myself, and that fellow from Jaipur talks about ITPI. How do you see IIA engaging with other professional institutes or institutions or association bodies which have relevance in society? How do you see IIA engaging with them?
Sir, I think it's a very pertinent question, and it has to be addressed by all of us. I am associated both with the Rotary Club. I was the president of Rotary Bangalore West and also a secretary of Institute of Town Planner Karnataka chapter and the professional standing committee at IITP headquarters. We have a lot of good things to be taken from these organizations. As the madam said, in the Rotary, we conducted one competition to bring awareness about the architectural profession, so that architects come into the limelight of the social media. So there we had given an opportunity to other architects to display their projects, and we also had once a seminar purely on Vastu. I mean, it was not Vastu positive. We had invited both speakers for and against. See, that discussion brings out a lot of ideas into the mind of the people. And then they know the role of an importance of the architect's role. So by this, we brought awareness among the Rotarians. And as he said, most of the Rotarians are professionals of different field. So that is one. And in ITPI, we have a lot of good things which they have. You see, one thing is you asked me about a question about the COA site. See, I was a building committee member in ITPI. See, every chapter now has a building of their own. And every chapter earns a rental income of 3 to 4 lakhs a month. So they are all self-reliant, and now they don't have to depend on headquarters. In fact, they can contribute to the headquarters in a way. And I think that is the way forward. I think we should come in that way. And I request all the fellow architects who have good contacts with the town planning, get all the state chapters to get one CA site. So then we will all be self-reliant, and we will be able to strengthen our IA headquarters, which is my main aim. And I think we should work towards that. And another good thing is that in IIA, ITPI, and in Triple ID, which Madam was mentioning, there are regular technical sessions happening, which is very important in our IA. Our IA activities are now mainly concentrating on national events like Young Architects, NatCom, Young Architects, IPL. But I think we should have a monthly technical session where young architects should be invited. Whether they are members or not, they should be allowed for the technical session, So they know the new products which are launched. So that interest will bring them into our fold. And another thing which the other question, I mean, it was not addressed to me. I would like to give an answer. See, when a lawyer was attacked in Bangalore, 1,000 lawyers protested, and the government had to take an action next day. When anything happens to an architect, when I was the chairman, only 3 people came to the police station when one architect was harassed. This is the unfortunate thing, that we should be more in number, because lawyers are more in number. We have more than 1 lakh council registered architects, but in IIA we have less. So we should bring in a lot of younger architects to become members here. And I think that will strengthen us. The number will give us more power to bring government into our fold, and government will listen to us if we are more in number, so we can get things move faster. See, in some and
Yeah.
early one more thing.
Yes.
See, you're talking about fee structure. Yes, the fee structure is council, as Senthil sir said, we can only give the minimum. But earlier team, I think one late Mr. Pandurang Kotnis was there. He tried to get the government fix the rates for a larger project, housing projects, and the KHDP hospital projects around 250. All the young architects got the project, and the fees was fixed. It was not tendering. So these days, tendering has to be opposed by us, and we should move in that direction.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Friends, we are in the last 5 minutes of our conversation, this interaction meeting. I request if all of you switch on your cameras so that we can take a group photo. I will direct one question to Senthil sir, and then I'll come back to all 3 of you for your parting of vote message. Why the voters should vote for the team TWF. Senthil sir, my last question of this session to you before we have the end messages. Strong knowledge acumen is required for architectural practice to flourish. A very strong knowledge acumen. Can you shed some light upon it? That why or how would strong knowledge acumen really make an architectural practice flourish?
Yeah, in fact, an architect has to constantly update himself with the latest technologies, with the latest, because the clients also know, they feel that the architect is updated. Because like nowadays the Google, you see, Pinterest, a lot of these websites are there in which you can take like anything. So unless you are updated with the latest knowledge and technology, you cannot handle the clients. Even the structures also. The client will come and ask the architect that the steel looks, sir, can you reduce the steel quantity in your design? So we should be able to read the drawings, know how the steel quantity is being calculated. We should be able to reply. We cannot simply say that, no, I don't know anything about the structures. You have to ask only my structural engineer. That's why we apart from the design and all, I think we are getting to the air conditioning, heating, ventilation, electrical this thing. Even though we have consultants, we should be able to interact with them, and then to suit the drawings, to make their consultation available to suit our drawings. We should not give an impression that as an architect I'll do only the design. All the other services you don't come and ask me. You ask me.
I get it, sir. I get it from you. So what's your vote pitch? Then I'll come to Azmi madam, and finally to our candidate for the honorary treasurer post. What's your vote pitch, sir? Now we are in the last stage of this session. What's your vote pitch to the voters?
Yeah, I have been in IIA for past 25 years. 92, I became a member, and my promotion was very, very, very slow. Like from a clerk to the officer, very slowly I got, and I became the chairman after 20 years of Tamil Nadu chapter. When the promotion was due to me, I was denied the promotion. The highest ambition for a chapter chairman after proving himself. We bought the footprints, number 1, number 2, then sketches. So many initiatives we bought in Tamil Nadu, but when the promotion is due, I was denied. So the biggest promotion for a chapter chairman who served in the chapter for 5 years is to go to the council. This one point is enough for the voters to elect me, to give me the promotion. To give me the promotion is in their hands only, and they know
Okay.
my ability.
I get it. I get it. I get it, sir. Azmi madam, what's your vote pitch to the voters, the electorate?
I think for any organization to be effective, it needs to be open. It needs to be open to suggestion, approachable. And I find that this team, which is coming together, the way forward, is very approachable. I think we are very open. The very fact that this kind of a discussion is going on online, is being aired, and we're taking people's suggestions, I think that itself shows the approachability. And with the positive kind of energy that I see amongst the team members and the cohesion, I think the team can do wonders if voted to. I won't say power, I don't think that's the word to use, if voted to responsibility.
If voted to serve the IIA members.
Yes, absolutely. If voted to serve, to be approachable, and to look into even the smallest issue that a member may be facing, I think that would be the greatest test for us and the greatest responsibility. And I think the team way forward can achieve that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Vidyadhar Vodeyar, sir. Lakshmi ki Kunji. The key to goddess Lakshmi, honorary treasurer candidate.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you very much. One thing I would like to say is I am very thankful to all the architects who have been with us. And you have seen me that I was on the chairman's position for 5 years, and then I have moved off the state activities completely, even though at the background I involved in their activities. But I have moved away from the day-to-day activities because a young team, better than me, they are doing. So I feel that we should follow all throughout the country. Give chance to the younger generation. Younger generation is doing far better and they have far good ideas. So that should be the motto of all our seniors. And coming to the last point of my honorary treasurer post, our team has a wonderful vision and a manifesto which you have seen, which covers all aspects of the profession and the interest of the architects fraternity. But I will discuss now 2 points which the whole team has discussed and come to a point where we have decided to bring a financial discipline in the whole system. I mean, I do not say that it is not there. It is there, and we still want to take it forward. And we want to bring more transparency in the financial management. Initially, we will try to give accounts to every member in every quarterly report. So it's not that they should come to the general body. It will be sent by email to every quarters. That is our intention. And every 6 months, we would like to get the finance approved in the general body. This is one of the visions our team has. Then the second one we have is we want to try to distribute the chapter's share of the fund regularly. It has been delayed for years together, which we would like to ensure that they get their share immediately so that they do not have to ask for the capital center to give that fund. The third and the last point is we would like to have architects benevolent fund, which is very useful and especially to attract young architects. You know, it's kind of an issue. See, there are 2 things. One is benevolent fund and the second one is professional liability fund. So this I'm talking about benevolent fund, which we have in the Institute of Town Planners. In case of any eventuality, anything happens to the architect, the family gets the fund immediately, which, you know, especially during COVID, we lost 4 young architects who were not even 40 in Karnataka. So such cases, so why should a young architect become a member of IIA if he's not getting any benefit? See, this is one of the benefits. The day he becomes a member, he gets a benevolent fund as an associate. and slightly higher for a fellow thing. This is 3 agenda we have, apart from other financial management, which we will try to improve the financial standing of the IIA.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So friends, with this, we come to the end of today's session. I hope my shared screen is visible to all of you. I would like to make a gentle reminder. This poster will be circulated tomorrow in the morning. This is our schedule for tomorrow. Tomorrow, 24th of June at 7:30 in the evening, we all convene once again for a Zoom meeting of 45 minutes where we will be having panelists Puneet Sethi, architect Puneet Sethi, who's standing as a joint honorary secretary candidate. He will be taking some 10 to 12 to 15 minutes and specifically discussing, sharing, reaching out amongst us with a short PowerPoint presentation regarding the TWF manifesto. He will be joined by architect Amit Babbar and architect G. Srinivas Murthy, both of whom are standing for the council member positions. There are 10 positions. These will be our 2 candidates whom we will be interacting tomorrow. With this, I thank all of you who have joined us today, with a promise from all of you, assurance from all of you that we will meet tomorrow also. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.